Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Phoenix. This isn't what I was planning to do for my second video, but I just watched some recent videos that kind of prompted me to put this out. First and foremost, I wanted to thank Zach and his team. Zach's my editor. He helps me immensely. These videos wouldn't be possible without him. His links are in the description. I wanted to address Kati Morton, I believe. Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, but I just saw some recent videos with you and Eugenia, and I'm not gonna really touch that whole topic with like a 10-foot pole, because I'm not gonna. That's not what this is about. I'm not here to pick sides or get involved in that one. But there was one statement that you had made that kind of stood out to me. You know, as you were talking about being put into a 5150. Here in my state, I'm sure Eugenia would know as well, they're called sections. It's a section 12 or section 35. You had talked about, you know, how disempowering and how uncomfortable it would feel to be in a waiting room.
If a patient of mine is having a hard time, for them to have to go to be 5150'd, which I've never had to do in my private practice, by the way, but I don't have a lot of options, and it can be really scary because it's in kind of like dodgy parts of town, and you sit, if you take yourself to the hospital, you often sit with a lot of homeless people waiting in the waiting room, and floridly psychotic people who...
You know, essentially, it didn't feel good to be mixed in with homeless people in a waiting room. And then, you know, you'd mentioned other forms of psychosis and being involved. That I can understand. I mean, if you're in danger of being hurt, I can understand, but what's wrong with being homeless? Like, what's wrong with being around homeless people?
A little compassion
yeah,
goes a long way.
I think just like remembering to be like compassionate to people and to like try to be understanding, like even if like sometimes you may not like fully understand exactly what they're going through.
Excuse me, I have to leave for work. Homelessness isn't, you know, I don't think it's something you wear on your forehead as this badge, you know. Just because I don't sleep in a home, now I have to feel uncomfortable about if I have to go to treatment for my mental health problems, or say I even just want to get out of the cold. You know, now I have to worry about making normal people feel uncomfortable.
Reminding ourselves that we're all human.
All because, you know, I just don't go home to a different place.
But yeah, I hear from a lot of people that they're just scared to do anything or to say anything because they're afraid they're going to make it worse. And I honestly believe that if we're cognizant of the person in our life and we just reach out and ask questions and seek to understand their situation, that we're not going to make it worse. Like, a lot of people worry that by asking someone if they're suicidal, we're going to make them suicidal. And that's just not how it works. So I just want to put that out there first, that like by asking someone about something and seeking to understand, you're not going to make it worse for them.
This isn't necessarily an easy situation for me. It's not one that I've necessarily chose. I was kind of caught off guard with that statement because I don't know, I don't really think it's fair. I don't think it's a fair generalization. It felt very dehumanizing, you know, like, oh God, don't mix us with the homeless people. You know, for a lot of us, we've gone to treatment just for shelter, just to get out of the snow or the cold, just to have a roof over our heads for the night. And now it's like, imagine if I do need to seek treatment. Like, I'm always going to have that in the back of my head because I don't want to make anyone else uncomfortable. I don't want to prevent anyone else from seeking treatment, because me just being there as a homeless person is going to make them uncomfortable, you know? I don't know, I just felt like your comment was very dehumanizing. You know, like now, next time, you know, if I'm having a moment where, you know, I feel like I need help, the part of me that keeps me isolated the part of me that keeps me away from people and ashamed and embarrassed of my situation is going to keep me out of treatment now. Like, you know, it's already bad enough as it is. It's embarrassing enough. Like, I don't like people to know my situation. It's hard enough being vulnerable to put out this channel and put this information out there, but you know, like, I really want to stop these stereotypes and these stigmas, especially one that I was surprised to see perpetuated by a therapist about homelessness. And I watched your other video, the one with Eugenia, and I thought that you did make a lot of really good points, but where are those points now? Like, where are those points in regards to me or in regards to people who are homeless? Where's the compassion? Where's the seeking to understand? Where's the reaching out and asking questions and, you know, not trying to put people down and seeking to understand, you know, how I didn't ask to be in this situation, you know. It's not something that I chose. It's not something that I wanted. You know, a lot of people who are homeless do have a bunch of mental health and addiction problems that are tacked on, and you will see a lot of us in treatment. I don't know, I just felt it was very dehumanizing, the way you put it, how uncomfortable it is to be mixed in with us, how disempowering it is. Yeah, so that's it. That's, I don't know, that's my rant on the situation. Zach will pepper clips in here throughout and try to make this look as best as possible. It was a really rushed video. I'm sure it's not the best production quality, but I think I got my point across at least, and if not, I'll put in other things. But yeah, so subscribe. Like, this isn't what I wanted for my second video. I'll be putting out another one very shortly to kind of make up for it. I want to get on a regular schedule. And again, thanks, Zach. I think the whole public access and chill crew for all the help that they've given. And yeah, thanks very much. Bye. Oh yeah, all Zach's links are down in the description. Please go check him out. It's a crime that he doesn't have more subscribers himself. They put a lot of work into their videos. Please go check them out as well. Thanks, bye.
Get the drift? We feature ice-cold drinks at our concession. Hurry, 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 folks. Get your crunchy, chewy, chocolatey candy bars now at the concession stand.
Hey guys, it's Phoenix again. I just wanted to film a second part. Zach told me that the first half of the video is finished. There was a couple of points that I wanted to bring up still. Kati had mentioned, you know, in Eugenia's video as well about how friends should reach out and seek to understand. You know, the best thing that you can do is ask questions.
Just like let them know that you're there for them and just kind of ask them if there's something going on. Like, I think if anything, like, the person would just kind of feel happy that, like, you care about them enough to reach out to them. And I know maybe not everybody would exactly, like, I guess have, like, the exact same reaction, but I feel like generally, like, people would just kind of, like, appreciate that, you know, you're there for them and that you care.
When you're in a situation like mine, you know, a lot of your friends disappear. I've personally isolated from the rest of them. It's a very shameful situation to be in. It's very embarrassing. It's not something that can really be fixed by going to a doctor. Like right now, I have a therapy appointment. I'm going to take care of stuff on that front. But I don't really expect Kati to see or respond to this video. Who am I, you know? Like, for one, I'm nobody on YouTube, and for two, she's kind of giving the impression that, you know, homeless people are subhumans, that is a problem to be mixed with or interacted with. Another part that I noticed in her video was that she talked about I statements.
Try to use I statements, which if you haven't been in therapy, you haven't heard about this, but it's a really delicate way to have a maybe tricky conversation without causing the other person to get defensive. And the way that would look is, let's say I was worried about Eugenia and I was going to talk to her, instead of saying like, you're doing these things and I'm worried, kind of thing. That obviously is very aggressive, and it can sound, and I know none of us would say it in that way, but instead of saying you're doing this, I could say, you know, I haven't been hanging out with you as much, and so I've been kind of worried. Are you doing okay? And that comes from a whole different place where it's like, I haven't been seeing you. I'm worried. So keep it about you. Like, I've noticed you're not showing up as much as you used to. I'm worried, you know, how are you doing? It comes from a more authentic and caring place versus a judgment place. And so if there is something that you really feel like you need to share, just talk about how it's experienced for you. And none of this like, you make me feel you did this. And then hopefully they'll be better able to hear it.
Personally, I do know about I statements, and there's supposed to be 3 parts. You list the feeling, you list the problem, and then the third part is you're supposed to list a solution. So here, we'll try this out. I personally felt dehumanized and cast aside by Katie's remarks, or the way that she kind of talked about homelessness and having to be around them. And I would suggest that she seek to understand people in this situation a lot better by asking questions and just remembering that we're all human. Just because I don't live in a mansion in LA doesn't make me any less of a person than anyone else. My Uber's here. All right, thanks guys.